So you moved from Joey Votto to Miguel Cabrera now.
Pretty lucky.
Yeah.
One Hall of Famer to another, in my opinion.
You've had to game plan against him for years.
Yep.
When he was going good, did you get a chance to try and game plan against him?
To this day, has hit one of the most impressive right-handed home runs I've ever seen. It was off Johnny Cueto. I wasn't behind the plate, but I was in the dugout. It was raining in Cincinnati, and he hit it to right field, and it looked like a left-handed pulled home run, just as far as it went and like the trajectory of the ball. But there for a while, if you didn't get the ball in on him, he was going to kill you. I mean, it was just that simple. You had to like get the ball into him. And if you missed it all, you probably were going to be reaching for another ball for the umpire. It was just, I'm really excited to just go from Joey to Miguel and watch him work and pick his brain, hopefully. And hopefully he can make me a little bit better.
So hit the fast forward button. Maybe 5 years later, you've been traded. You're now in Oakland and you're facing Miguel Cabrera again. And our amazing producer, Robbie Scirocco, found this video of him like laughing at you. What is going on here?
It is my favorite. Like when I face Miguel Cabrera, it's like my favorite at bat. He just kept rifling balls, ground balls in the 6-hole off me for a couple times. And I told Marcus, I said, Marcus, we're not letting him hit a ground ball in the 6-hole anymore. We're just not going to do it. So I said, we're going to set him up. I'm going to throw him like my slider cutter thing away off the plate. Then I'm going to throw a sinker in. And I want you to slide on the second pitch into that 6-hole because he's going to try to hit the ball again in that 6-hole because he keeps doing that. I throw the pitch I want, the first pitch. The second pitch happens. I throw the sinker exactly where I want to throw it, and he doesn't swing. And he instantly pops his head up and like looks at me and like sticks his tongue out. Like, you think I didn't just see what just happened there? Like, you got 5 days in the show. I got 15 years in the show. Like, you have a lot to learn here. Like, what's going on? Like, so right when that happened, I don't think I threw a strike after that. Like, it just melted my brain. I was like, I am so overmatched here. I'm in a different world. Like, I might as well go back to rookie ball, what he just did to me. There's a reason why Miguel Cabrera is a no doubt first ballot Hall of Famer and should get 100% of the votes.
It's a great story, dude. That's really good.
Yeah, that's my all-time favorite at bat, even though I walked the guy.
You guys do have something in common. Miguel Cabrera. I want a good Miggy Cabrera story from each of you.
First off, there's so many. And I remember, I keep this little journal with me that like whenever I just feel like I'll have something or a thought or a picture or whatever, I'll sketch it out. And, it's 2018 and I got off to a good start, right? Like, I think it's June or whatever, and I'm hitting like 320 something, 330. And I just, life is good when your numbers are good. So like I'm sketching something and I'm looking out the window of the airplane, and me and Miggy always sat in the back, and he sees me looking out the window and I'm sketching on my journal thing. And he looks at me and he takes his headphones off and he goes, "Hey, just remember you're, what did he say? I got to go grab it. Hold on."
Wow. It's in the journal. This is great. You actually have the journal with you. This is awesome.
Yeah. I've taken this thing everywhere with me since 2017. It's not in order. Some of it's with a paintbrush. Some of it was with a marker. So I'm looking out the window. He looks at me. I'm sketching. He can obviously see that like my wheels are starting to turn. And he looks at me, he takes his headphones off and he goes, "Hey, when you figured out how to walk, I was already running," and put his headphones back on.
That's a classic Miggy right there. So we're hitting together, right? We're hitting in this in Sosa's facility. When he's hitting, everybody's watching. So Freddie Galvis just got to the cages because he's hitting like right after us, right? So Freddie got there and Miggy stopped hitting and asked him, "Hey, did you bring your $50? And he say, $50? $50 for what? Oh, you think watch me hitting is gonna be free?" So he's asking everybody who's getting to the cage, asking for $50 so they can watch him hit, or they have to leave. There's not, it's not free to watch Miggy hit.
How great is it being a teammate of Miguel Cabrera's?
It's pretty neat. One of the things that I learned the most from him was just his attitude on a daily basis. I mean, I remember I tell this story and guys kind of don't believe me, but this was September of 14. I probably had at this point maybe 10 big league at bats. I'm sitting on the bench and Miggy rolls over to the shortstop and gets out, comes back in. He says, "Hey, go watch my film and tell me what I did wrong." And one of the other Latin players like, "You better go watch it." I'm like, "He wants me to tell him what he did wrong? What's he talking about?" So as I go into the video room and I'm looking at his swing, and I bring up a homer that he hit the week before, and I'm comparing it. And the first thing I notice is that he kind of lost his posture, and he had leaned over the plate and then come out of his swing. And so he comes back in, and I tell him, I'm like, "Meg, I think you lost your posture." And he said, "Yeah, Poppy, that's what I felt. I leaned over. I need to stand up taller." And I was like, "Yeah, that's what I saw." So next at bat, he comes up to me and says, "Watch what I do right here." And he gets in the on deck circle. I'm watching him take his swings. As he walks up to the plate, he looks over at me and gives me a nod. And I watch him in the box. He literally sits there and stands up taller in the box and ends up hitting a homer. And he comes back in. He's like, "See, I told you, Poppy. I knew what I did wrong." It's like, this guy's unbelievable.
That's amazing.
But, yeah,
hey,
no, that's Miggy.
Assist McCann on that one. I mean, when he's there in Cooperstown, he might relay that story. Just saying.
Yeah. Just one of his however many he's got.
Right before the off day, our last game against the Tigers, I pitched against them on Saturday. Gave up some homers, including one to Miggy.
Mm-hmm.
So Sunday, Dylan's pitching against them, absolutely shoving. And it was like late in the game. I think it was right before Miggy's last at bat in like the 8th or 9th inning. And he's in the batter's box all the way across. Like he looks over and he might've been like kind of messing around with someone else in our dugout. And I see him and he looks at me and he's like, "Hey," he's like that. And I'm like, "Oh, come on, man." He was basically saying to me like, "Hey, thanks for throwing me 2 fastballs in a row." Because that's what I did that at bat. It was like his third at bat, maybe second or third at bat, go fastball away. And it's down the middle. I threw a fastball down the middle, first pitch, takes it 0-1. I threw another fastball, it was like middle away, homer. He drove it to right center.
Uh-huh.
And I remember after I threw it, I was like walking around the mound like, "What am I doing?" And he was basically the next day in the on deck circle, "Hey, thanks." And I was like, and he was like, no, more fastballs. He's awesome, man. I've never like actually talked to him straight up, like in the outfield during BP or anything. I've never had like a real conversation, but I've had these like little just interactions. And it's just like, man, this guy is awesome. Awesome.
I mean, it's a whole generation of pitchers that have grown up watching Miguel Cabrera and wondering, God, how would I pitch to Miguel Cabrera, when you're 15 years old? Wow, how cool. And then sure enough, here he is.
Yeah, don't throw him 2 heaters down the dick. How about that?
I read a really interesting article on you that when you came back up, or I believe it was right after you came back up, that Miguel Cabrera and Salvador Perez, did they talk to you? Did they mention to you about how good your shit is and like, just let it go, man. You're going to be great.
So I haven't really had like a sit down conversation with either of them. But Miguel Cabrera, like, for instance, like in the game where I had the perfect game going, like he'll be at first and ask me like, "Are you out of the game?" Like, "Oh, thank God." He'll like make little hand motions and be like, "Oh, thank you. You're out of the game." And that's like super reassuring to me. And then the story with Salvi was pretty much, I pitched against the Royals at home and they're leaving to get on their bus and they're kind of just loitering in our parking lot, just hanging out before their bus leaves. And I'm heading up to my car in our parking lot and I walk past them and Salvi looks at me and goes, "Hey, good job out there tonight, bro. You're freaking nasty." And I was just like, taken aback. I was like, did Salvador Perez just say like I'm nasty after I faced him tonight? So it was little things like that were like very settling to me in terms of like, wow, if these guys think I'm good, then I might have some good stuff.
Is that like your welcome to the show moment, or did it come earlier for you? Was it something else? Was it, did you have a chance to meet somebody that you were blown away by or something?
I'd say like first strikeout in the bigs was like my welcome to the big leagues moment. But like in terms of feeling like I was accepted by who are now my peers, guys that I look up to, definitely hearing Salvador Perez or hearing Miggy kind of tell me like, hey, your stuff's good. Or hearing Joey Votto tell me like your fastball is like something I've never seen before when I felt kind of crappy that day was like, it's all stuff that makes me feel that like I deserve to be here. I belong here.